Hello everyone, my name is Jean-François May. I'm the product specialist at IXIASOFT. Okay, so today I'll be showing a very quick thing about our product called the Web Author, where we use the oXygen Web Author component. So Frank is giving you good reason why you would use the Web Author, build an application around the oXygen the Author component, and it's our objective were similar in the sense of offering an easy to access user interface for contributors that are not necessarily technical writers. Our product is a data CMS, so we do a product specifically for technical writers working in data. Users that are not necessarily technical writers, or users that for any reason need a web interface. So what we added is we wanted to cover all those different use cases, and we have on one end you have what we call the casual contributors, which are not technical writers, but you need them to provide information, and on the other end you have the actual technicals writer, which want to be able to do all the powerful things they can do with oXygen. So we wanted to offer something that would fill that entire spectrum without being too complex for casual contributors. So the solution we came is a web application integrating the author component, but where the author component is actually externally configured based on the role of the user. So in our CMS we have a notion of roles, so you can configure those roles, and in our web author you can configure how oXygen author component looks for the different users. So we can change whether it's writable, we can change the actual CSS, and in the afternoon they're going to show us so marvelous tricks you can do with the CSS in oXygen. We can change, set some default view, we can change the actions that are available, all that based on the role. So this is the data CMS web author. So we've got the oXygen component here, and I'm already logged in, and I've got a few topics that are assigned to me on the right. I'm trying to get a room for my mouse. And so they're all assigned to me, but they're actually assigned to me as different roles. So you can see all of I've assigned stuff to myself as the 4 different roles. So if I just look at the things that I'm assigned to as a writer, I'm going to open this as a writer. So I've got a quite extensive toolbar of actions. I'm by default in the tags mode, but I can switch my tag mode here. This document is actually already checked out, so I could obviously modify it. We'll add some text in here. And I've also have a very extensive context menu available to me. Now, if I switch myself to be an editor, which is a different role you could configure in the CMS, you can open in a different topic. So again, this one is already locked. By default for the editor, we selected not to use the tags mode, but we could still give them the action to switch tags. We have pretty much the same context menu, but you can see here that the toolbar is slightly simplified. And when the editor works, we already actually force the track changes mode on by default. So whatever the editor does will be track changed, and then when it goes back to the writer will be able to accept or reject those changes, either within this tool or within the full data CMS client, where we have oXygen Eclipse plugin integrated. Let's say now that I'm a contributor. I'm going to open this topic as a contributor. So this topic is open for me as a contributor. I've got, again, a shorter toolbar, a shorter context menu as well. I can, by default, I'm without the tags on, I can add some more content where I'm also in track changes by default. So a little bit like the user. And finally, if I switch to the reviewer mode, we're also using, so I want to review this. Now you see this is checked out, but you know, I'm typing, nothing's happening because when we have this in review, we actually put the document in read-only mode. So we allow, and the only thing we allow the reviewer to do is to use oXygen review and say, we should use the word object. And then I can put ill oXygen comment in and check it in. And again, when it goes back to my writer, the writer will be able to see my comment. But in this, with this role, I'm actually not allowing the user to change the document, just to comment on it. And I don't know how I'm doing for time. I'm still good. I'm going to still have 1 more minute. Okay, just want to, basically we have a configuration file where we specify the different roles and we can specify the style sheet to use, and underneath that we have like all the actions you can enable or disable. So all that is external to the tool and can be done by the CMS administrator. And thank you very much.
Thank you.